Southern Italy, which is 10 million years old, 7 million years older, as a human chimpanzee ancestor.
You keep quoting this because you haven't given a reference for it.
Okay, wait, it's coming. I actually rang a friend for it. One second. I work with some researchers. Oh wait, it just came in. Good timing. It's called Australopithecus bambuli, and here it is. Journal of Human Evolution. So the point which I was making stands. If you look at any fossil, that fossil, you're using that fossil and you're basing it on an assumption of homology, and you're saying that this is a human chimpanzee ancestor. But that assumption is not reconfirmed by you looking at similarities, because that argument would be like this. That would be like, similarities are due to common descent, similarities exist, therefore similarities are due to common descent. But that would actually be circular reasoning. Why didn't these researchers use the ape which was discovered in Italy, which was a fully bipedal ape, and use that as a human chimpanzee ancestor? Because Darwin and the people prior to him, they were actually racist, and they wanted to show that the black person is much closer to the other primates than the Caucasian people. So they didn't use the ape in southern Italy, which is 10 million years old, fully bipedal. Rather, they used an ape which was 3 million years old. 1 second. 3 million years old, which was in southern Africa. And here's the point. When you believe a theory is true, anything is evidence. Darwin believed, and he said this in The Descent of Man, that African people, they actually, some of them, they have feet which are like this, which actually have opposable thumbs, which is why black people are good at climbing trees. Now, any black people here, sir, do you have any relatives in Africa who have feet which are like this? Do you know of any African which has feet like this? Now, why did Darwin describe these Africans who have feet like this? Because he has an idea in his head which he believes to be true, which is his actual theory. So because he believes it to be true, the evidence that he sees, anything could actually be evidence. Also, when Darwin went to South America, he did the same thing with the South Americans, because he believed the white race, the Caucasian race, was the highest. So when he described the Fujian people, he said these were people that used to grunt, they could hardly speak. Yet researchers, when they studied those same people around 30 years before Darwin, they said this is a sophisticated society which have a language of about 30,000 words. So Darwin, he already believed his theory to be true, so anything was actually evidence. Now, the last point which I want to make is this. Wait, hang on. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, wasn't a racist. The Islamic civilization wasn't racist. You can't say Darwin.
Can you pull that thing back up, please?
Wait, hang on.
Okay, wait. No, give it back.
Okay.
But no, I need to respond.
Right. Any fossil which he brings up is the same as the genetic evidence, the same as the anatomical evidence, is still based on the assumption of homology, which, by the way, and this thing Phil has not addressed at all. He has not addressed this point at all, which is homology is a necessary condition to establish human chimpanzee ancestry. It's not sufficient. For it to even remotely be sufficient, you need a mechanism of natural selection or any other mechanism. And this whole time, he did not speak even the smallest amount about the mechanism. Without the mechanism, at best, all you have is a story.
Okay. Let me read you the paper that Suboor thinks is evidence of bipedal ape. This is what the paper he just gave me says.
No. I gave you the paper with the name of the actual fossil.
Results further show that the sacrum exhibits relatively small pterogaphyseal articular facet surface areas and mediolaterally narrow, also compared with modern humans, indicating that the morphology of Australopithecus sacrum is incompatible with the functional demands of habitual bipedal stance and locomotion. The oropithecal lumbosal region does not exhibit adaptations for habitual bipedal locomotion. So your own paper contradicts you.
No.
Yes, it does. Right, now hang on.
Hang on,
I can interrupt. I got to respond.
Go on.
Okay, and we've got to wrap up because we've been here more than 2 hours. Okay, right.
I didn't. Wait. Hang on.
I didn't
This
interrupt
ape
you.
is.
I didn't interrupt
Wait.
you.
Hang on one second. Before you make your point, let me just make a simple
All right,
point
fine,
about this
then
ape.
my last
No.
point, I'm gonna go.
This particular ape, it can walk on two, and it doesn't do that all the time. It also has locomotion. But Lucy was something which they think was transitioning towards actual bipedalism, or according to some, wait, hang on a second. According to some, according to some, it was fully bipedal. Whatever it actually is, the point which I was actually making is this: why would they go with something which is 4 million years old and not go with something which is 10 million years old? Because they had a previous theory of this, right? And even if there was no fossil evidence of any hominid, which is what you said earlier about Henry Gee. Even if there was no fossils, human-chimp ancestry would still be true, which is what you said earlier.
We have independent evidence from
No, you don't have independent evidence because it's based on the assumption of homology.
From embryology, that we have, yes, it would be true if we had no fossils. Because
Exactly, that's the point.
No, Suboor.
You just admitted the same point.
Okay, so let me finish, right? Okay. The whole point is, yes, it would be true if we had no fossils.
There you go.
Sorry, can I finish without you interrupting?
So what's the... Okay, go on.
Okay, because we have multiple lines of evidence from independent fields of study. So if we didn't have any fossils, and there's no reason why we have to have fossils, it's very difficult for a fossil to form. Very rare that a fossil ever is going to form. So there's no reason why we have to have fossils, okay? So if we didn't have any fossils, we've still got the genetics, we've still got the biogeography, we have other lines of evidence, and that's what Henry Gee was saying, right? But we do have the fossils. Now, he's saying that this thing can occasionally be bipedal. That's irrelevant. Lots of animals can occasionally go up on their feet, right? A meerkat can occasionally go up on its feet. But what is interesting to paleontology is whether you have an animal that actually predominantly walks on its feet. That's what you need a particular anatomy for. So you have something, the way the skull attaches to the rest of the body, that has to be a certain way if you're going to have consistent bipedal walking. And that's what Australopithecus has. And Australopithecus has these transitional forms. It has a spine, an attachment of the magnum, I forget the name, magnum something is the name of the attachment, and that attaches just like it's bipedal. But it also has features that are similar to chimpanzees, because it has fingers and feet that are more flexible, so they can climb trees as well. So that's the transitional forms that we have. Okay. Now he was talking about racism. I mean, saying Darwin was racist. Almost everyone in the 19th century.
That's
was
not
racist,
true.
right?
That's not true. But I'll deal with it. Sorry to interrupt
It's
you.
irrelevant. It's completely and utterly irrelevant. The evidence that we share common ancestry with chimpanzees, there's nothing racist about that. The idea, we say that the genetic diversity is highest in Africans because the fossil evidence leads us to Africa. Okay? It's not saying anything bad about African people. It's nothing racist about that. Okay? All it's saying is that's where we find the fossils, so that's where we should find the genetic diversity. We have the hypothesis.
Well, why not the
and
fossil in
data,
Italy?
Because it's not a bipedal ape, that's why. Okay, I'm done.
No, you're not. Wait, you're not done.
You can conclude.
Wait, hang on.
We've been here for more than 2 hours.
Hang on.
I have to go.
Hang on. So the very beginning of the paper, which you didn't actually read, is this. The claim that Australopithecus practice habitual terrestrial bipedalism is partly based on restored postcranial remains originally recovered from this. Right. Wait,
read the conclusion.
Hang on 1 second. This same ape There are some scientists who say it's bipedal. There are some who say it's not bipedal.
Find me a paper that says it was bipedal.
Okay, here.
No, that paper doesn't.
No, that paper doesn't, but this paper does. There is a difference of opinion about it. Now, if there is this particular ape, which is supposed to be bipedal, and this particular ape, according to this paper, was actually bipedal, this wouldn't make a difference to human-chimp ancestry being true or not being true. The same thing with Lucy. There is a whole, as you know, some discussion about did it actually walk in this way or did it actually walk in that way?
There's more consensus Lucy was bipedal.
Okay, but
Right, that's a fact.
even if she was bipedal, how does that prove human-chimp ancestry to be true?
Because, okay, what it does is it provides evidence of a transitional form, which is if we find fossil evidence of hominid species, they should have transitional properties. Australopithecus does have transitional properties, therefore it supports the hypothesis of common descent. And I have to leave it there.
Wait.
I'm sorry,
No,
we've been here for 2.5 hours.
Wait, hang on. 5 minutes more.
Okay,
5 minutes more.
Fine.
The point you're actually making is there is a fossil which we actually have, and this particular fossil, this is a human-chimp ancestor.
No, I never said that.
Okay.
You're completely wrong.
Fine.
You're misquoting me.
Okay,
I
fine.
Never said that.
Okay, fine. What do you think it is?
We can't say Australopithecus was our ancestor.
Fine.
Well, I don't
So what
claim
point are you
that.
making?
Because what we should find is overall patterns in the fossil record. Not that particular specimen was our ancestor. We can't say that.
Okay, so fine.
Right?
Okay, so fine.
I'm not claiming
Okay,
that.
so what are we looking for?
We're looking for patterns in the fossil record that confirm the hypothesis of human-chimp common ancestry. So, for example, what we should find, if we plot out all of the many hominid fossils that we find, we should find that, for example, there are features that show a gradual change. So, if we take the size of the brain, for example, we plot out how big are the brains of all the different hominid fossils that we find. There should be an upward slope
That's not true.
going to the right.
That's not true.
Why is that
I'll
not
tell
true?
you why it's not true. And this is why I don't want you to run away, because you're making a lot of claims here.
Well, I can't stay here forever, Suboor. We've been here for
No,
2.5
no.
hours.
But you've been trying to escape for a while, and
I'm not trying to escape. I am not trying to escape. We've been here for 2.5 hours.
Relax.
I've been on
Relax.
holiday, and my brother is here, and we said that we would go for tea after this.
Okay, that's fine. You can
Okay?
go for tea. You can go for tea. No, I'm not going to get in the way of
Okay.
your tea time.
Thank you. 2.5 hours is plenty of time.
What the problem is here is this. You want us to take the idea of human-chimp ancestry to be true literally, whether you look at genetics or you look at fossils or you look at something else. Now, a particular point that you actually made is that we should be seeing it getting bigger over time, right? Now, that is not the way that Darwinian evolution works. Darwinian evolution doesn't work by progression.
What do you mean it doesn't work by progression?
This idea, the old idea of the great chain of being,
But no one's claiming that's right. The
Yeah.
argument doesn't depend on that at all.
but what you're
even-
saying
not
is we
even
should.
slightly.
No, what you're saying is that we should be seeing it getting bigger over time.
Yes.
Why?
Because we have big brains and chimps don't. That's why.
No, but
I'm
no,
not
no,
saying
but
big
no,
brain is
no.
better.
But then what you've
I'm
done,
just saying it's that
And
we
this
have
is-
it, they don't.
and this is the problem, Phil. This is the problem. This is why I want you to understand this point. Chimp, human,
Yeah.
assuming common ancestry.
Yeah.
Similarities exist, therefore common ancestry is true. This is circular
No,
reasoning.
But we're not saying that. You've not listened to anything.
Wait,
I've
wait,
said.
hang on.
We're not saying it's because of similarities. We're not saying that.
Okay,
That is a complete, total
you
misunderstanding.
don't. But 1 second. You don't agree because you don't understand what he's saying.
No, you don't understand.
No.
anything
Hang
about
on.
the subject.
Every single
really
time,
don't.
every single time you say this is not based on homology or this is not based on similarity. Yet every single time you go to comparison, which is homology.
You don't understand what you're talking about.
Why
You
not?
really don't.
Why not?
I've explained it all for the last 2.5 hours. Why not, Suboor? To be honest,
You don't agree because you don't understand what he's saying.
Repeating myself endlessly is just pointless. Right?
Eh, wait, hang on. Okay, so tell me this. Tell me this. Do you believe Lucy, which you were speaking about earlier?
Yeah.
Do you believe Lucy is a ancestor of me and you.
Right, this is why I feel like we're going around in circles. I have already answered that question before. Did you not listen to what I said?
I was listening.
What did I say?
Sorry?
What did I say?
1 second. You drunk? You were saying that this particular. I'm not talking to you. 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 Can you just go away? Okay. When it comes to this entire conversation.
Sorry, I answered your question. What was the answer that I gave you? Let's just check that you were listening to me.
I was being shouted at from the left.
No, this is before he shouted. I answered that before he.
So what did he say? Repeat it.
Right, so you didn't listen to what I was saying, correct?
I was trying to listen, but he said something.
No, he wasn't here.
Okay, so what was it? I'll hear it again. What was it?
You asked me whether I thought Australopithecus was our ancestor. Okay, and I said we can't conclude that.
Perfect, which is what I was saying.
No, but that's irrelevant, Suboor.
No, it's not irrelevant.
It is irrelevant.
Why is it irrelevant?
This is why we're going round and round in circles. Because what I said was that if evolution is true, there are certain patterns that we should find in the overall data from the fossil record. Not that you can pick any one data point and say, that's the ancestor. You can't do that.
Okay.
But what you can do is look at the whole data. I'll give you an analogy from physics here, right? So when you do, in quantum mechanics, you do something called a double split experiment. You fire a beam of electrons through two splits, and what you get, what quantum mechanics says you should get, is an interference pattern. Now, quantum mechanics cannot predict where any individual electron will go. It cannot say anything about the individual electron. But what it can say is the overall pattern will be an interference pattern. So similarly, in paleontology, you can't look at a specimen like Lucy and say that's the ancestor. I mean, some people have said that, and I don't think that they should.
Perfect.
Right? But what you can do is say the overall pattern of the data should look like this. If evolution is true, it should look like this. And it does look like that. And therefore, it supports the hypothesis.
Okay, wait.
And that's it.
Okay.
And that's
So here's the problem.
And you can sum up and then
No.
We've had our extra 5 minutes.
Okay, wait. Hang on.
Okay.
Wait, hang on. What you're saying here is basically this. When it came to genetics, you were using that as evidence, and we concluded that that did not add anything new to the.
We didn't conclude that. You concluded that. The
Okay,
actual
that's
professional
what-
scientists in the field conclude the opposite.
No, wait.
Yes, they do.
Wait,
I'm going to have to get this.
So wait.
back out. I'm going to have to get this back out.
You can get the stuff out all you want. Let me just make